What's up, everybody? It's your girl T, and welcome to my tips and tricks on how to create a viral character series. Now, I have created at least 12 viral characters within my content creation career. And let me tell you something, I have picked up a lot of different tips and tricks along the way. If you're not familiar with any of my work, I am the creator of Bel Air Blair, aka the rich bitch and her Frederick. I also have long-standing characters like Lily, Shonda, Grand, who is like one of my most viral characters right now, and my characters from my Being Fast in the 90s series. So if you want to learn how to create a character that can not only go viral, but also have some longevity in this game, stick with me, baby. I got you. Now, during this series, we're going to touch on topics like relatability, authenticity, inspiration, styling, recognition, consistency, and of course, character burnout. So let's kick things off with first, relatability. Finding a character that's relatable to your audience will always create longevity. People want to feel like they can resonate with what they're laughing at. Comedy all in itself is just picking fun at everyday life situations, taking trauma and turning it into laughs, making lemonade out of lemons, pretty much, right? So think about these questions when you're creating a character. Who is this character? Is she a woman? Is she a mother? Is he a father? Are they your neighbor? Are they an employee somewhere? Are they a child? Are they an elder? I have so many different characters, and one thing that people love about these characters is that they can relate to at least one, or if not all, of the characters that I create. Another thing to consider when thinking about relatability is who's my target audience? What kind of people do I want to relate to this character? Are you looking to target kids? Then you may want to create a childlike character. Are you looking to target, people from the age range of 50 to 79? Then you might want to look into somebody a little more elderly. Are you looking for your age group? These things are very important when you're considering relatability. Another thing to consider is why. Why am I creating this character? Now, for a lot of people, the why doesn't come until much later once you see how your character resonates with your audience. But for me, a lot of the times, I create relatable characters that deal with the Black culture. So a lot of the times the why is necessary to bring along nostalgia, to help carry on messages that I feel like our community needs to be reminded of. For instance, my Grand character. She says a lot of off-the-wall things, but it is to remind us that our elders, no matter how wild they may present themselves, sometimes have that little bit of ounce of wisdom that we have forgotten along the way. Then there's my rich bitch character, aka Bel Air Blair. The why for her was to just give couples a reason to have fun with each other. Remind women that there are supportive men out there, whether he be your husband, your boyfriend, your partner, whatever. But these different things also make up for good relatability when it comes to creating a character. All right, y'all. So now that we done figured out some of the elements that help you to create a relatable character, let's talk about the inspiration for your character, okay? Now, I want y'all to understand something, that absolutely nothing is new under the sun. I'm going to say that again. Absolutely nothing is new under the sun. T, why are you making such an emphasis on this statement? That's because you have seen the same type of characters on social media, on TV, in movies, done over and over and over again by different actors, actresses. Just, you've seen it already. The thing is that these characters, even though they're nothing new, can still inspire you to create your own original character, which strings along into with authenticity. For instance, my character Cousin Pam, she is constantly being compared to Martin Lawrence's Shanae and Jamie Foxx's Wanda, which is exactly the inspiration I drew in order to create Cousin Pam. Now, the thing about making your character, though you may draw inspiration from other people's character, Authentic is that you have to know yourself and you have to find, again, the relatability in the character to make it authentically yours. So again, it is okay to draw inspiration. It's never okay to completely copy. All right? Figure out a way to make a character your own before you just introduce this character on social media, because people will eat you up about it. All right, T, I know that you talked about drawing from inspiration, but how can you create a completely authentic character? Well, again, nothing is entirely new under the sun, but the most authentic way to create a completely new character is to draw from yourself. Draw things and pull inspiration from your own life. I would have to say that my most authentic character that I've ever created would have to be Bel-Air Blair, and that is the reason why she's probably my most viral character to date. Simply because I drew from myself in order to create this character. Bel-Air Blair is a wife. I am a wife. Bel-Air Blair is dramatic. I am dramatic. Bel-Air Blair likes to indulge in the luxuries of life whenever she can, and that's the reason why she's only a rich bitch on Fridays. You see how simple that is to just draw from yourself? The only difference between me and Bel-Air Blair is that she is me on a more ridiculous, obnoxious, grander scale. So pull that most grander version of yourself, pull them out and put them on the screen. Then you'll have the most original, most authentic character you could possibly ever create. All right, so we talked about creating relatability. We've talked about drawing from inspiration. We've talked about authenticity. T, when are we going to get to the fun part, actually creating our character? We're here, ladies and gentlemen. Now that you have an idea of what kind of character you want to create, let's talk about my favorite part, styling the character. Now, I like to style my characters by either dressing up and keeping them in a full costume, or by simply just using filters and putting a persona to a filter. Now, I want y'all to understand, stylizing your character can be budget friendly. You don't have to break the bank to create a style for your character. When I stylize a character, I like to use old clothes. I like to use my husband's clothes out of his closet, whether they old or new, because I'm going to do what I want to do. I may even grab items from out of my children's closet. Trust me, you can get the job done without breaking the bank, honey. Now, if you have a character that requires a certain type of costume, I understand. Do what you will. One of my other favorite things to do when I'm stylizing a character is to go to the thrift store. You will be surprised what types of things you can come across in a thrift store. You might even want to try a yard sale, okay? Whatever you do, the point is to make money, not spend too much money to make money. You know, pick a budget, stay within the budget, honey. Now, I know what you're thinking, but T, your rich bitch character is wearing a fur coat. That's expensive. Yes, I know, but I was gifted the fur. 'Twas a gift. So again, you do not have to break the bank in order to create a style for your character. A free option that I absolutely adore is using filters. Using filters can be so easy. One of my favorite things to do when I'm feeling the itch to create a new character is I just go pull up Snapchat and surf through the filters. And when I come across something I like, I sit there and I ask myself, now what kind of voice goes good with this hair filter? Yeah, I like that. I like that. It's that easy. So don't be afraid to try new things, okay? So here's my final tip on styling your character. And I want you ladies to really pay attention to what I'm about to say, all right? Because I don't be thinking that men have too much of a problem with this, but I know my ladies do from time to time, because we have a persona, you know, we have an image that we have to upkeep. Commit to the ugly. Get ugly, okay? one thing that separates me from a lot of my peers is I'm not afraid to dive in and get ugly. As you can see from one of my most popular characters, Dip, yeah, don't nobody really want to be seen in that light in real life. But the thing that makes him a good character, the thing that resonates, is that I'm not afraid to get ugly. Bring the character to life. Don't half step it. If you imagine your character with teeth that's knocked out their mouth, go to the Halloween store or to the makeup store and get that little blackout wax stuff and put it in your mouth. Get ugly. Okay? Ugly makes money sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. All right? So commit to the character styling. If you're going to go in with it, if you're going to use a filter, by all means, that filter can't work with just your regular voice. You are going to have to tweak your voice. You are going to have to maneuver your face. You are going to have to make these characters come to life. Just styling yourself is never going to be enough. Do everything that's going to bring the character alive. Move different. Like with my grand video. Yeah, sure, I could pop an old filter on and just talk with my voice like this. But what makes grand relatable is the phantom jaw. Okay? And you got to be ugly to do these things. Okay? What makes Pam fun to watch is because she's always sitting like this with her teeth poked out. And I got a piece of foil, not even a real go-to, just stuck in my mouth. Commit to the character. Add those quirky things that people look at when they see it and they say, is that foil on her tooth? Or, dang, why his lips so ashy? Or, look at grand mouth going like this. And when you are a childlike character, be around children. Mimic those things that you see children doing. All of these things help with the style of the character and sets your character apart from the person that just put on a costume. I'm just telling you what I know. I'm good at this. I'm telling you, I'm a beast at it. So